Alright, what's up guys? So this is it. This is the Season 4 finale of Real Paranormal Stories. So I talked about it on my Paranormal Adventures, because I just now finished that. It's the longest episode of the entire series. And so there will be 13 episodes in Season 5. That is the most entire series. The previous most was 12 in Season 2. And the first 10 episodes will be like the normal 10 new paranormal experiences that happened to me or one of my friends or something like that. And then the final 3 episodes will be talking about my 3 favorite paranormal experiences, 3 to 5 paranormal experiences that I've ever told on this channel and series in general. And then we'll officially end Season 5. So, for the Season 4 finale, I'm going to tell you guys the craziest experience that has ever happened to me. I've never witnessed a paranormal experience that has scared me more. This is the scariest night, paranormal-wise, that has ever happened to me, ever happened to anybody that I know, ever. It happened just a week and a half ago. For the first time ever, there was a paranormal experience that happened not only in one house, not 2, but 3 different houses, all in the same night. It was the most paranormal experiences that I have ever had. The previous most was probably when I investigated, and I had 11 different sets of EVPs, which is basically electronic voice phenomenon. So 11 different times a voice was captured. Door slammed shut, caught the creepy face in the mirror, and some other ones. This tops that. So it was a week and a half ago. I was in the basement. I am right now. And we were all just talking. But it was storming like crazy out. Storming absolutely like crazy out. It wasn't storming at Matt, Mike, Jennifer, and Sarah's house, but it was storming at Carly's house, and everyone was at Carly's house. My fiance, she was there. Jamie was there. Marie was there, and obviously Carly was there. Her parents were not home. They had to work late that night, and this was around midnight, maybe 12:30, 12:45. Oh no, it was 9. It was 9:30. But because it was storming out, it basically was dark already. So we had been talking about life and all that stuff, when all of a sudden, now I have a hoodie that I use for the man character that I have for the biggest series that I have and have ever done is the Man franchise, and I wear a hoodie. Let me show you real quick. Yes I do right here. So this is the Man hoodie. It's the Man hoodie that I use for my character, slasher character, and all that stuff. And I had it over here. There's a poker table right here that I just use for everything. I put all my scripts on here, my TV on here for my video games, sometimes for movies. And so it was right here. There's 5 different chairs, because Scooby's sleeping on one of them right next to me. Basically, the chair that's right across from Scooby, that's where the Man hoodie was. It was right in the middle. So when it comes to what I use for my shows, I'm very, 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 very It has to be this way. I folded my man hoodie up, put it right in the middle. Well, all of a sudden, it falls to the floor. And Scooby was asleep, like he is right now, so it couldn't have been him. The cats never come down here. And it scared me, it made me jump. And everyone was like, what happened? And I said, my hoodie fell on the ground. Like, we were both thinking, could you? And I'm like, no, I folded it right in the middle. Put it right in the middle. That way if someone bumps into it, it's not going to fall immediately. And because I'm constantly down in the basement, you have, you know, the condensation from the heat and all that stuff. Some water gets on it. I like my chairs to be pushed in a little bit, especially if I'm not sitting there and all that stuff. So while I'm getting my hoodie back on, and this time I put my hoodie right smack dab in the middle of the table. That way it doesn't fall again, I can look at it. Well, while I'm doing that, there's a huge crash. There's a huge crash on both Carly's house and at Matt and Mike's house. Both hear loud crashes and everyone jumps. I jump because I'm not paying attention to the screen, I'm paying attention to my hoodie, putting it back on there, and I jump, I'm like that, and I'm like, what the heck was that? And they're like, I don't know. So they go down the stairs and they go into the kitchen, and absolutely nuts to me, both of them had the same paranormal experience, except two totally different places, hundreds of miles away from each other. Both in the kitchen, silverware fell to the ground, except at Carly's, also some of the knives that were a little bit farther away from the silverware, because basically at Carly's house, they have something mounted to one of the kitchen walls, and they put their silverware in there. And all that fell, which I'm like, and there was no thunder before it fell, nothing like that. And I'm like, okay. Now, Marie put Carly's phone on the... Now, Carly has a huge phone. I don't know how big the newest iPhone gets, but it's really big. And she put that up against the table, because basically there's something up against the table that she just put on there. Now I can see them. They are a little bit to the side. Let's just say this is the camera. They're kind of over, and let's just say right, so you can see my, they're kind of over here, so I can see them just at the very edge, but I can also see the dogs, and I see Carly's dogs, which is Buttercup and Cookie. They're looking right at the basement door, right at the basement. And I'm like, guys. And they're like, what? I'm like, why are your dogs looking at the basement door? They're like, I don't know. And they pick up the phone. Now, the way the phone was positioned, I couldn't see the door itself. I can only see the dogs looking towards the basement. I couldn't see the door itself. Well, they turn and they're like, what the heck? And I'm like, what? And they turn the phone over and the door is open. And I'm like, did you guys open that? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, and Matt and Mike, Jennifer and Sarah, they already picked up all the silverware and all that stuff, but everyone is like, okay, what is going on? Well, they look down with their flashlights and all that stuff. Everyone has their phone with them, so they have their flashlights and all that stuff. Well, they see something at the very bottom of the basement. I can barely see the very bottom, so I couldn't see what they were seeing. Maybe just a little bit, but I couldn't see because obviously I wasn't there, and the way maybe the lights itself was going, I just couldn't really see down at the very bottom of the basement. They could. You see something move from left to right, and so they go downstairs. They get a knife. Actually, all of them get a knife. Go down the stairs. Nothing's down there. Light turns on fine, and all that stuff. So everything's fine until the basement door slams shut, and the dogs, for some reason, didn't bark or didn't growl. Basically, didn't have any emotion at all. And when it slams shut, the light goes off. So they immediately go up the stairs, and I was thinking, okay, just open the door and all that stuff. Well, it doesn't open. The door doesn't open. And so they're trying to do that, and then I'm like, hey, just calm down, take a deep breath, and then open the door. So they do that. It doesn't open still. And then all of a sudden, and when I told this on my paranormal adventures, I got chills, and I'm already starting to get the chills because the oh my, okay. I hear, and everyone starts to hear this noise of something moving down in the basement. And I'm like, guys, what does that sound? And it sounds like something is moving up the basement stairs closer and closer to them. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, screw it, just panic. There you go. And it's moving closer and closer and closer and closer until it gets right next to them. Right next to them. And then all of a sudden they can open the door. But just before they close the door, they hear the noise going down the stairs. Instead of up, they hear it going down the stairs. So they shut the door. When they turn to go back into the kitchen, all the silverware and all the remaining knives that they don't already have in their hand is back on the floor. Now, okay, even if we were all hearing this noise down in the basement, we all were hearing the sound of the thunder and lightning and all that stuff, how is it we could not hear the crash of the silverware hitting the floor for the second time? Because the first time it happened, everyone heard it. I mean, it even happened to Matt, Mike, Jennifer, and Sarah also. So why wouldn't you hear it the second time? I have no idea. And then all of a sudden, when they're picking it up, the dogs run up the stairs and they start growling. They start growling and barking at whatever this is. Now, they didn't bark or growl when the door slammed shut, but now they are growling and barking at whatever it is upstairs. Now, you do have to think that maybe somebody could be in the house, or maybe someone's playing a prank. Now, she's an only child, so I guess her parents would be the only ones that are playing the prank. But you have to think this. So they go up the stairs, and they had their door open. So when they go up the stairs, Carly's room is closed. Her door is now closed. And so they go up to the door. It won't open. All of a sudden, all the lights go out. But the internet still works. There's a window right at the end of, right near her room. Because basically it's her room. You go straight out, then you turn left if you want to see any other room. But there is a window at the very end. I don't know why the people that made that house decided to put a window there, but it's there. But all the lights are working on the other house. And when Marie looked out to see all the other houses, they were all turned on. So it was only her house. And the internet works, so why isn't the lights turning on? All of a sudden, they go back to the door. Still won't open. They hear the sound again. The sound that was coming from the basement is now at the foot of their stairs. Coming up the stairs. And Marie is just like, and I'm like, oh my god, I cannot even imagine being there. Just hearing it gave me chills. But actually being there, oh no, I'd crap myself, I would pee myself, no. Well, it's coming closer and closer, and Marie's like, screw this. And she goes to because you have to think that possibly someone is in the house. Well, they go and it's coming closer and there's nothing there. So obviously it's not a person unless it's the invisible man, but it's obviously not the invisible man, so it's a ghost, not the invisible man. So it's coming closer and closer and closer and closer. And by the time it gets to the hallway, Carly opens the door and closes the door. So far, just to recap, my hoodie fell. That was the first thing. Then the crash of the silverware. Then the basement, movement, seeing something, and all that stuff. Dogs going back up the stairs, and all that stuff. So they close the door. This is not even close to being the final part. But, so they close the door. It gets closer and closer and closer until it gets right next to the door. And all of a sudden, the door knob rattles. Doorknob rattles. They can't see it. They can hear it. They can hear it rattle. All of us can hear it rattle. And then it looks like it's going away. It looks like it's moving away from her room, moving away from all this. And then just as we all thought that maybe it's over, now at the corner of her room, she has a bunch of books and magazines and all that stuff. All of a sudden we hear this crash, and it's all the books and magazines. They all fell to the ground. All of them fell to the ground. They are starting to pick it up when Matt, Mike, Jennifer, and Sarah at their house, they start hearing that rumbling noise. But there's no storm, there's nothing like that. And then they hear the movement. They hear the movement in their house. And I'm getting chills. But they hear the movement in their house. But instead of it's coming from the outside of the room, or it's coming from a totally different place in the house, it sounds like it's in their room. It's getting closer and closer, and then all of a sudden some of the things that they have in their room crash to the floor, fall to the floor. And I'm like, what is going on? I have never ever in basically my 23 years on this earth ever had this many paranormal experiences happen in one night, and I've never had something happened to me in different houses, but basically it's all the same paranormal experiences happening in 3 different houses. Not just one, because usually it's always in one house. Sometimes it happens to me, sometimes it happens to Jamie. But it's usually always in one place. This time, it's like whatever paranormal type of thing, they wanted to get every single house that they could get. So while they're doing that, I'm paying attention to the screen. I'm paying attention to everyone else's screen. I'm not paying attention to anything else. I'm petting Scooby and all that stuff. It's basically the only other thing that I'm paying attention to is Scooby and the phone. All of a sudden, my hoodie that was in the middle of my table falls to the floor. And I'm like, I jump really hard because it scared the crap out of me, because this was legit scaring me a lot. Let me see what it looks like if I turn this off and go over here. Yeah, you guys can see me. So I am picking it up, but all of a sudden I hear the movement. I hear the movement coming from these stairs. And in my house, I have heard footsteps before, but it's always been from the attic. Not any other part of the entire house has ever been footsteps except in the attic. That's it. Always in the attic. This time I had it happen in the basement of all places that I was in. I basically live in because I do everything in this basement. And it was coming down the stairs. It was getting really close to me. And I was getting really scared. Even with all the lights on. Even with all 3 lights on. Lamp, the basement lights, and then the decoration lights. I was getting really scared. And I was panicking and all that stuff. All of a sudden it gets really close to me, like 2 feet away. Then it stops. For 30 seconds to a minute, it stops. And I'm like, okay, that's really weird. But then I hear something. I hear something coming from Carly's house. I'm like, what is that? Everyone's like, and then my fiance, she's like, there's a door that when you leave Carly's room, you go to the left. It's the closest door to her room. It slams shut. And then that movement comes, but it's coming a lot faster. And instead of it coming right near the door, it sounds like it basically skipped that and went right to inside her room. Inside her room now, and it's getting closer and closer and closer and closer. Until I'm like, you know what? Just say, we hear you, but you're scaring us. We did it, but it didn't work this time. It didn't work. It just kept on getting closer and closer and closer. And then all of a sudden, it's super close. We say it again, we're like, please, we hear you, but you're scaring us. Can you please stop? And then all of a sudden, all the lights turn on. Everything goes back to normal. And that is the crazy experience I have ever had that happened only a week and a half ago. And that is officially it for season 4. So season 4 is officially done. I hope you guys enjoyed this nearly 25 minutes video. I think this is officially the longest episode I've ever done. I can check afterward. I think this is the longest episode I've ever done. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Crazy experience I ever had. Obviously, for the next 5 weeks will be 3 sets of recaps, and then what to expect. And then 5 weeks we'll officially begin season 5. So once again, there will be 13 episodes next season. Unless I decide to do the 10 episodes and only do 7 paranormal experiences, and then the last 3 will be my favorites over the last 4 seasons. Unless that changes, it will be 13 episodes next season, and yeah, it should be good. It should be really good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to like, subscribe, share this video if you can, if you have the time. So yeah, so until season 5 begins, I'll talk to you guys later.